So, question one, recent historical events that affected the course of research and organizational psych. The first thing that comes to mind would be COVID-19, the pandemic in 2020. This essentially put a halt to the working world, and people were learning to work from home or come into the office occasionally, that kind of hybrid work. People were learning to navigate that. And the effect that that has on people can be both positive and negative. More time at home and maybe less productive at work because they are at home. Another event following that would be the advance in technology and how people are communicating solely through Zoom or Teams, or some coworkers haven't even met in person, but only through phone calls and video meetings. This has led researchers to focus on how individuals balance their work and home life and what that will look like in the future. Another event is the increasing globalization. It has led many organizations branching out across the world, which means different cultures and different backgrounds. A company based solely in the United States now needs to incorporate different cultures and how they work and their environments and what that means for that company. Because that's going to mean different individuals, different products, and different ways to look at their company. So if I was helping a university create a more diverse pool of applicants, I would advise them to look at their current climate of their staff and work environment. A diverse employee will be attracted to a work environment that is inviting and positive. They should feel welcome and that they're accepted within the university. I mean, it should be clear that their diversity is welcomed and that they are wanted there. I would also recommend facilitating strong social support throughout the working staff, making sure that the other employees are welcoming and that they're not just going to dismiss someone. The diverse employee should also feel as if they should have support and help around them, so they do not feel that they will fail just because they are different. They should have people around them and different things to help them succeed. Activities to consider for welcoming these new diverse applicants will be to provide a time for the applicant to grasp the history and politics of the university. Once someone can understand the history and politics of a place, it might be easier for them to feel as if they have a grasp on what's going on and more comfortable. The history of the organization is important for the new applicant to understand the traditions held as well. Someone being involved in traditions helps them to feel like a part and involved of the other groups. The politics of the workplace will also help the individual understand how things are run and how their other potential coworkers interact with one another. That's really important. Another activity that the university consider with their applicant is assigning them to a senior employee, someone who has been there long and that can show them like the ropes and show them and take them under their wing and mentor them, basically. So the advice I would give the organization to reduce work-family conflict would be to make sure that they have benefits and policies in place specific for their employees. These policies could include things like time for them to take care of the elderly people in their life, like their parents or relatives or whoever that they're helping. This could also mean childcare and parenting, time for education, like my work gives me time to complete things like this, or even self-care, like giving time for exercise. There are many jobs that are very routine and people do not have the chance to get up and move, or their hours are so crazy they do not have time to exercise on their own. So it's a great thing for them to relieve stress and anxiety and get that off their plate. The organization could also consider childcare options in-house and working from home to provide the employee with the chance to work and handle their family needs. Majority of an employee's stress could be around their family, and having the option of childcare or even the option to work from home all the time or part-time could be a great help for a family. This is a great way to reduce anxiety and stress within the employee, like I stated earlier. It gives them more time to handle their personal lives, which might not seem as important to the employer. However, if they can handle their employees' stress and anxiety and reduce that, then their work performances will be so much better and they will be more productive and not have to stress about their personal lives as much. It can also reduce the employee from skipping work or keep the employee from leaving their position due to low flexibility. So, when looking on Indeed, I found many job descriptions that listed different requirements and characteristics of the job, but they wanted people who had a strong work ethic, or they can manage their workload well, or they're very creative within their position. And a lot of these are OCBs, and not really task components. OCBs are great for the job, however, um, they're not really telling of how the employee can actually complete their work and their tasks correctly. So to remedy this, I would switch these requirements out for things like the candidate's ability or prior experience in the field. That's a great teller of how well they're going to do in that position. And it shows their other experiences. I would ask them about how they handled their prior workload, and how they would handle their workload at this organization with more exact details. So not just their workload management, but give me specific details on how you handled that workload, and how you would apply that to the job at hand. Creativity is great in a job. However, their skills and knowledge within the job at hand would be most valuable, especially for a company that needs employees now. So, counterproductive behavior in a company or organization can be things like deviance, sabotage, theft, withdrawal, and abuse towards others. Production deviance is the employee just not wanting to do their job correctly, like intentionally. Sabotage is undermining the work being done. That could be damaging company property and things in that nature. Theft is theft, that's stealing from the company. Withdrawal is an employee just completely disengaging from their position and their job. And abuse towards others could be assault, sexual assault, verbal, physical, that sort of thing. To resolve these issues, the employee must not reward the bad behaviors that they see, like slacking off, and giving that employee less work because they are slacking off. I mean, that just is a continuous cycle that will never end. The employers could prevent sabotage by making sure that there are no injustices going on in the workplace that could cause an extreme outburst. When people feel shorted or slighted, they will react, and it might be in the form of sabotage because they are upset at their organization or company. Theft could be prevented by providing adequate pay and making sure that the conditions are fair within the workplace. An employee might feel more inclined to steal in any form if they, again, feel slighted or if there's unfair treatment within the company. And they can prevent workplace violence by treating all employees equally and fairly and making sure that the manager on site or whoever is in charge is not passive or ignores such behaviors. People might get emboldened and try to have these type of violent behavior if they know that there is no consequence to their actions. There needs to be a strong leader in charge that can call them out on their actions and make sure that they will be reprimanded for whatever they have done.